the crew that happens on Tuesdays. So thanks for hitting live early, you idiot. Now I have to edit this. You disrespectful. Now play it.
Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount.
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Oh, it's good to be back.
I don't know. You don't know?
It means I'll go fuck yourself.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
You can't handle the truth!
50 through 41. Yes, this is what happens every time the music plays. I can't wait until we get to the final episode, and Koho decides to change the intro again so everybody can see how dated. Or by the time this releases, who knows what our intro will be? Who knows if we'll even be on the air? We're back. I tried to quit. Koho tried to quit. We both were brought back in. So I've also thought about deleting all the episodes and giving Mike and Nazario post-traumatic stress syndrome, but we decided all that is not fun. This is when we're getting to the meat of it. This is the top 50. There's been a lot of misses on people's list, I think, up to this part. There's a lot that have been yikes that are too high, some that are in the rifle yikes. I think we've crossed off, Social Network at the 60s. Is The Departed down in this episode? One yet? That's perfect. So you're better than the previous group. All right. So Barr, you have 2 records. One, you have the most on-brand list of this entire group, I think. But second, you do talk the most about not having a movie, but still talking about not having the movie. So, how are you going to do this episode?
Better. I'm still going to be very on brand. There's one movie on here in particular that you're going to hate the fact that it's that low, but you're going to appreciate that it is at least in my top 50.
That's fair. This is where the good, either you are really messed up when it comes to film, or you are in the right sweet spot. This is where the final grades are really going to take some points. This is where they're really going to take their shape. Mike Hanley.
Heidi ho.
I've almost had to replace you a couple times just because of policies and behind-the-scenes stuff. Because one, you're quite unruly before we go live. You're kind of a diva. Most people don't know that about you. How are you going to do this episode?
What'd you say?
Well, how are you going to do this episode? How do you think?
It's going to be pretty good.
Pretty good. So I think that's 3 stars. Okay, that's scary.
No, that'd be if it was Kirk.
Cam, if you no, you pretty good fucking movie. I think that's a 3-star. Cam, normally you get scared or you laugh hysterically because you and Mike are so close on movies. How's tonight gonna go?
I don't know how things are gonna go tonight between me and Mike. What I do know is that whatever goodwill I have built up throughout the 6 episodes we have filmed, five episodes we've filmed so far, it's all gone when I tell you what my 47 is. It's all downhill from this point. It's
always
all
47.
It is all downhill from this point.
No, that's fair. 47 is that number.
Nazario, probably the person I've hated the most on this episode, are the shows. There's something about doing top 100s. Your friendships start at some place and then they go to a different place by the end. Me and Nazario, we're at the breaking point. I don't know if we're going to be friends after this. We'll find out this episode. Nazario, how are you doing?
I think we're going in the bad way. Wrong direction, my man. Also, I'm still a little depressed about breaking up with Mike. Mike, let's get the Blockbuster video back together, man. It's been 3 months.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think it's
foreshadowing. Okay. Guys, if you've been watching the show for this long, you should know how this works. And if you haven't watched this, I completely understand. Barr, take us to your 50 through 48.
All right, so my number 50 is John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yikes.
Shocked.
Yeah, right?
I know, right?
Get ready for another shock. My number 49 is E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
That's a fucking yikes.
I figured as much, yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
And my number 48 is Singing in the Rain. Okay, well.
Has anybody else had Singing in the Rain on their list at all? Okay.
Well, I'm safe for eternity now. Singing in the Rain. It is the beautiful, beautiful, most enjoyable musical with Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, Debbie Reynolds, some of the greatest moments in movie musical history with Make 'Em Laugh, the title song, Good Morning, and one of my favorite antagonists of all time, I Can't Stand It, is in this movie. This Singing in the Rain is just a joy to watch, and I love this movie so much.
Oh, wow. Okay, Singing in the Rain. Probably top 5 favorite musical of all time. Probably top 30 movie of all time. I think Singing in the Rain. This is the old Hollywood that I love, and this is what La La Land wishes it was. Singing in the Rain is perfect. The title song is the most catchy musical song of all time. You know, you can just sing it. Everybody knows every word. And Make 'Em Laugh. I think a lot of people that watch it nowadays watch it and be like, what? The music's not like hit after hit after hit. But inside of the movie, it's perfect. It is it's not a soundtrack that you play, but in the whole of the movie, it's beautiful. The rest of you, I hate every single one of you. 48, yikes, no one else had it. That's sad. Real quick, going around, you can only talk about one. Why did Singing in the Rain miss your list? Sentence or less. Go. Who wants to talk?
I'll go. Make 'Em Laugh and Singing in the Rain are great numbers. I've just only seen it once, and I didn't fall in love with it on the first viewing.
I think the movie's epic, but I like Rocky Horror better.
It was it was a good fucking movie. I don't really remember a lot of it, but from what I remember, it's a good fucking movie.
How? You just said Rocky Horror is better than Singing in the Rain. I'm going to have aneurysm. Mike, it's already starting. Mike, 50 through 48.
My number 50 is John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. Yes, I know. No one has it. Good times. Number 49, I got Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can.
Yikes.
I kind of figured. And 48, I have Braveheart.
Go.
Okay, number 50, In the Mouth of Madness. It's a crazy fucking movie. It's Sam Neill in the 90s. It's got to be a crazy fucking movie. I love Sam Neill in the 90s. He is so fucking awesome. It basically takes an author like Stephen King named Sutter Kane who goes missing. And Sam Neill plays an investigator who is trying to track him down. He thinks he's doing it for publicity. He doesn't know for sure, but he ends up in basically fucking hell. He ends up in one of Sutter Kane's stories where all hell is breaking loose. It is wacky. It is out there. You need to go in there knowing nothing about this movie because it's a wild fucking ride. It's a great fucking movie.
And Braveheart.
Okay, yeah, it's Mel Gibson. Fucking love this movie. This movie's so fucking amazing. It's Scottish people lifting their kilts up, showing their asses. It's fucking incredible. Like, everything about this movie, the war scenes are amazing. All the fucking death scenes, the way these guys fucking get chopped up is incredible. It's bloody. It's what I love about movies. The emotional scenes are so fucking fantastic. This shows right here that Mel Gibson can direct the hell out of a fucking movie. I love everything about this. It's a great fucking movie.
All right. In the Mouth of Madness looks like Jurassic Park really fucked up Sam Neill. I'm going to be honest with you. It really effed with him bad. These look scary. I'm not going to watch that movie. Fine. He'll stay as Alan forever. Braveheart. Again, say what you want. Separate the work from the man. Blah blah blah. I think he's paid for all the stuff that's happened. I don't hold any ill will towards Braveheart, Mel Gibson anymore. But Braveheart is fantastic. I think this is one of the first like war movies, like one of those type movies that I saw and it's amazing. It's 3+ hours, and it feels none of it. I love every bit of this movie. The cry at the end, the fights, the battle. Him as William Wallace is epic. I think he's one of his best works. It did win Best Picture, correct?
Yes,
correct.
Yeah, I absolutely Braveheart. Great choice. Both strong 48s today. I will give you 50s. Well, we can't talk about one, but one is in the shortcoming. And both 49s were yikes. That's interesting. Interesting development happening today. Everybody on Braveheart or In the Mouth of Madness?
I haven't seen either.
You haven't seen Braveheart? Wow. Okay.
I haven't seen either.
What is wrong with you?
I haven't seen In the Mouth of Madness. For some reason, I always confuse this movie with Shallow Grave, and I figured I had seen it, but it was Shallow Grave the one I saw. And Braveheart, it's a pretty good movie, but Babe was robbed in the Oscars.
Let me tell you something, Nazario. In the Mouth of Madness seems like a movie right for you, so check it out. You'll love it. And I've seen just pictures. Okay, Cam.
All right.
Oh, we're not hitting 47 yet. So
we're not hitting 47 yet. I'll be okay for 3, I think. My number 50 is Legally Blonde.
Yikes.
What?
A later episode.
What?
My number 49 is Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping. And my number 48 is Mean Girls.
Why am I not surprised?
You shouldn't be. No one else has them. Didn't think so. Woo. Yeah, Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping. I love The Lonely Island. I love Andy Samberg, and this is like the perfect example of like what I call smart dumb comedy, where it's like really dumb jokes, but they're written so perfectly that it just is really well done. It's great. The music in it is honestly fantastic. Andy Samberg is hilarious. Justin Timberlake is great in a small role. Michael Bolton shows up for a little bit. It's just a really, really fun time. And also Seal gets murdered by wolves. And what else could you ask for? And then 48, Mean Girls. It's a coming of age movie from the 2000s. What did you expect, people? I love this movie. I saw this movie probably for the first time when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and I've been in love with it ever since. It's actually the last, as of the time recording this, it's the last movie I saw in the theater because I got to go to a special screening. It's just super fun. The performances are all great. Rachel McAdams is a fantastic villain as Regina George. Janice and Damien are 2 of my favorite supporting characters in film. Just a lot of great funny jokes, great visual comedy, and it's really, really enjoyable.
All right, 49, way too high. I enjoyed the movie the 2 times, 3 times I've seen it. I like The Lonely Island. I don't like Sandberg. I honestly can't stand Sandberg. I think he's one of the most annoying comedic, like, he's the classic example of, like, his mom says, "You're so funny," and then he just proceeds to tell everybody how funny he is. But he needs to, like, tone it down most of the time. He's great with a group. That's the thing about him. To me, I find him in Lonely Island fantastic. Separate, I would rather die. 49's too high. 48, also keeping the trend of great movies at 48, Mean Girls. It's me and my wife's favorite movie. As a couple, she finds this is the only that we scroll through Netflix. It was the only movie we could ever decide on because she would like never to broaden her horizons, and I won't watch P.S. I Love You. So Mean Girls is quality. It's one of the funniest movies out there. Tina Fey is a brilliant writer when it comes to the script. It's so quotable, honestly, and it's one of the best coming of age stories out there, I think, because it describes what high school for like girls, I think, is to a T. I think it's brilliant in that department. So I have no problem with the 48's great. It'd probably be a little higher on my list just because of the relationship aspect. So good job. Everybody else on Mean Girls and Pop Star.
I love Pop Star. I love the I'm So Humble scene. And fun fact, Mean Girls is loosely based off of the high school that my dad taught at, and I lived like a 30-minute walk from.
Did he leave the South Side for this? No? Okay.
Not that.
I actually find both movies really funny. Popstar, the one is like a little more rough to believe it's a top 100 movie, but it's not unfunny. It's actually pretty good. And Mean Girls, yeah, totally get it. Probably I actually would have expected Cam to have this around 70, but yeah, I totally see how he could love the movie that much. I have rewatched it like 3 or 4 times. Maybe it was after my time because I was 22 when this thing came out, but I still find it really good, funny, and meaningful.
Popstar, saw it once, thought it was a pretty good fucking movie. Mean Girls, it's a good fucking movie. I just don't have it on my top 100 at all.
You know, the funny thing is, now that Mean Girls is 48, because I haven't looked at his list in a while, 47 is going to hurt even worse now.
Oh, 100%. Like, my 47 is objectively, I think, probably the worst movie on my list.
Ooh.
And I can't defend it, so...
Nazario, what is your 50 and 48 through 48?
50, I have Blade Runner 2049.
Oh.
Okay. 49, I have PTA Anderson's Boogie Nights. And my 48 is Catherine Bigelow's Strange Days. Nothing. Okay. Blade Runner 2049. Yes, I am one of those people who likes the sequel more than the original. I think it expands on very interesting ideas that were set up in the classic by Ridley Scott. But I really love the way it expands, and I like the performance of Ryan Gosling as a replicant and Ana de Armas in a very underestimated role in this movie. The movie expands the story. It goes into more deeper questions about humanity and what it means to be a person, and I find it totally engrossing. I love this movie. I think this is probably the most recent movie that like grabbed me this way. 49. Boogie Nights. It's the first PTA movie I ever saw. I was 17 at the time. I actually had to go to 3 different theaters before somebody believed I was old enough to enter to watch this movie. And it just blew me away. It's the story of the world of adult videos from the late 70s to the early 80s, when it actually was a very important time where the genre switched from basically cheaply made action movies with sexy stuff into just hardcore stuff, because it stopped being as something you could experience on theaters and it became more of a video home thing. So they didn't feel they had the need to like spend money on action shit. Just go to the hardcore because that's what people really want to watch. It's heartbreaking. Everybody in this movie is off the charts good. The performances are amazing and the story is engrossing as hell. And 48, I have Strange Days. This takes place in the near future of 1999, where a new technology called the squids, people used to like use themselves basically as a camera recorder, where you can, everything you see, hear, smell, taste is recorded right from your brain, and people use this to relive it. You can pay to live vicariously as another person that did something that you don't really want to do in real life. You can jump off a plane, you can go deep diving, whatever, fight in a pit, whatever you want to do, and you just experience it for real, just by means of another person. And the movie is a murder mystery. It develops in really interesting ways, and even the current social political climate is very important with this movie, because it deals with police brutality and racism and things that people want to hide, but you really can't when everything you do is being recorded. It's really, really interesting and an underlooked Catherine Bigelow movie that everybody should watch.
All right, you're 50. I forgot. And Koho. Yes, Blade Runner 2049 is, in my opinion, better than Blade Runner. I know a lot of people are like, you're insane, but I honestly believe so. They develop it more. The characters are better. It's more fleshed out. They didn't try to rip it off. I honestly think Villeneuve is probably the best working director right now. I think he's just hit after hit after hit. I don't think he's missed yet. So when he did this one, I was nervous when it came out. I was not okay with another Blade Runner. Like, I wanted to, but like a lot of people making sequels, Independence Day, that could have worked, made it terrible. But like this one, I think really pays off, and I think it's honestly better than the original. So
And he doesn't
If
take
you
the
haven't-
easy way out because he's doing Dune now. So
yeah, if he so if you watch with the first one, I think it gets better with the sequel, which is not always the case, honestly. And your next one was 49 is Boogie Nights. I am not an Anderson fan, Paul Thomas Anderson. I am not. I know that is sacrilegious in this community, especially with a certain few. He's just not my cup of tea. Like, he has ones that I like I like The Master and I like There Will Be Blood. I have not seen Boogie Nights. People have told me that Boogie Nights will probably be the one that I will be okay with, but like Phantom Thread, no thank you. I don't care about people sewing. I don't care how great the score is. I honestly don't. So it is what it is. But fine. I haven't seen Boogie Nights, so I can't hold you too hard. And then the other one, Everybody's 48 was great. Yours turned out one I didn't see. Which is fine. You have less of a bar to hold up to now, because if your 47 is complete dog crap, well, you have Strange Days next to it, and I haven't seen it. So, yeah. I will go check that out. You kind of described it in a way, and I think I would actually like this movie. Everybody, really quick on Nazario's bottom three.
I am also one of those people who think Blade Runner 2049 is better than Blade Runner. Ana de Armas was easily the standout in that movie for me. Like, I watched that movie never having seen her, and when who fuck is that? You're 40. Oh, Boogie Nights. It's fine. I like Boogie Nights, but I don't love it like a lot of other people do. And Strange Days. I love Catherine Bigelow. Haven't seen it.
I also think Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original. I think the fact that it's 45 minutes longer, but still feels so much shorter and more interesting and is a much easier watch says a lot about it. It's visually beautiful. The performances are amazing. It's fantastic. Boogie Nights, not a Cameron movie. Paul Thomas Anderson is a pretentious hack, except There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood is good, but not my director. And I haven't seen Strange Days because look at me. I'm me. I'm not wrong.
Blade Runner 2049. I love the first one. I do not care for 2049, so let's just move on from that. 49
Wow.
Boogie Nights. I enjoy it. It's a fun fucking movie. And Strange Days. I remember seeing it. I remember loving it. I just need to rewatch it again. I loved it the first time I saw it. I just need to watch it. Rewatch it. I haven't watched it in like 10 years.
If I could make three directors stop working right now, it'd be Snyder, it would be Anderson, and it would be Wes Anderson. It would be both Andersons. Stop it! Move along! All right, 47 Barr. Let's see what it ranked. Now, remember, before you say your next one, you had Singing the Rain of 48, so I am holding you at a very high standard.
Okay. I knew this was going to happen to me. My number 47 is a coming-of-age film. From 1971. It's called The Last Picture Show. Yeah, knew it. I'm going to get called a potential attack for this one, but I don't care. The Last Picture Show...
This will be the last show that you're on.
The Last Picture Show is this great coming-of-age film with Timothy Bottoms, Sybil Shepherd, and Jeff Bridges. It is about these three kids who are just graduating high school in this middle of nowhere town in Texas. And it's kind of a split between wanting to escape from this nothing of a town and being kind of like stuck there because of an inheritance, and a relationship with a gym teacher's wife, played by Cloris Leachman, giving one of the greatest performances I've ever seen given. Her performance as Ruth Popper is absolutely heartbreaking. It's a really, really well-told dramatic film that I wasn't really feeling until one scene where literally the entire movie just clicked for me, and it became one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
I haven't seen that. What did you? Sybil Shepherd always looks like the old woman that I just would like argue at the grocery store with. I just don't. I don't get behind. She's like, if I put a picture of Karen up, that would be the one I would pick. I'm going to be honest with you. What were you going to say?
This is like coming of age era Sybil Shepherd, though. This
Yeah,
is like,
I figured she wasn't the same. In 70s, I didn't think she looked like the exact
71.
same. You know? Shut up. Jeff Bridges. Like, that's weird. A coming of age story with like Jeff Bridges in there, and then you said Cloris Leachman, and I'm like, oh gosh, like this is a turn back the clock. I will check this one out. It looks really good. For what you described. I just honestly never really heard of it. Both supporting characters won the Oscars, so that's a plus. Everybody else on Last Picture Show.
Is this the one that Dawson was talking to Joey about in Dawson's Creek about watching that one time?
You bet your bippy. Sure, that's the one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You saw Dawson's Creek, good lord.
I was a teenager in the 90s.
I have not seen it.
Drink.
I love Jeff Bridges. I've been wanting to check this one out, just haven't gotten to it yet.
I just like to refer to Jeff Bridges as old. I don't want to see him young because I like him as old. Like,
and he has like one of those, and he has like one of those like duck style hair, like slicked hairs from the early 70s. Yeah.
Like with Connery, I love him as old Connery. When he's young, I'm just like, you're an ass. But like when you're old, you can be an ass.
There's one great scene at a hotel with him.
Shut your mouth. We're moving on. What's your 46?
So my number 46, I do want to preface that when I sent the list in, it locked. And I would actually switch my number 46 with my number 45. But for now,
one spot. Everybody's going to hold you in contempt of court for that one. Go ahead.
Self-preservation.
You will, Cody. You will. My number 46 is Blind Spotting.
Yikes! Within the same episode.
Interesting.
Actually, I think it's in the same range. So do we talk about it now?
Sure, talk about it now.
It's my 44.
Yeah, talk about it now.
All right.
He had it at 44, so he makes it better than you. Go ahead, Camp. You start it because you had it higher.
Yeah. I saw this movie around the time it came out, and it hit hard. I think the way the screenplay is written is just absolutely brilliant, where a lot of it is done in this spoken word style, or it's just like this single individual rhetoric. Like the scene where the one guy is recounting the story of how Colin got arrested, where they play it back, but all the voices in it are just done by the one guy doing all the narration is fantastic. I think just the scene in the garage at the end of this movie is all that needs to be said about how fantastic this movie is. Daveed Diggs should have been nominated for and won Best Actor this year, and Blind Spotting should have won Best Original Screenplay. He is brilliant in it. Watch this movie. If you don't have the time to watch this movie, watch the garage scene, and if there were ever a time to watch this movie, it's the time we're recording this. At the time this comes out, who knows how on fire the world will be.
It'll probably be roasting by that point. However, so my number 46, I agree this should have won Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars. It's that brilliant. I've never seen a movie tackle so many different subject matters and do it with such ease and finesse. I think the other great thing about this movie is that it's not only really dramatic and really hard-hitting, but it's really funny in some scenes. Like the scene towards the beginning where it's like, hey, guys, I'm like 3 days away from probation, so if you have a gun on you, just don't tell me. It's like probable cause. Oh, you mean these guns? It's so great. And when he bites into the veggie burger, and he's like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, the ingenuity and the creativity, but still being able to bring it to such a grounded level, it's a masterpiece of the 2010s.
Okay. This is the very first movie I saw this year. I have seen it one time because I'm not going through rewatches that many before the end of the year because I'm trying to keep it fresh. I think it's a very good movie. I don't know if it burst into my top 100 automatically, but I think it's a very strong film. I honestly think it's a very strong film nowadays. It teaches the subject matter that I think the world honestly needs to like watch and understand. So yeah, great choice. I figured it would be high, especially for certain people that have seen it more often. But you guys on Blind Spotting?
I live in Central America, and we mostly get blockbusters in theaters. the rest you have to fight for. I just haven't been able to get this. I hadn't actually been able to get this movie in any way, shape, or form until recently because I just got HBO Max and it's in there. So I will see it very soon.
I think it's a good fucking movie. So once I need to rewatch it some more to see if it actually sticks with me. Ethan Embry is great in this as well. As a cop, he is great in this as well. Yeah, it's a good fucking movie. I enjoy it.
Okay, Barr, what's your 45? Because you made a drastic mistake that no one will ever forgive you for.
Yeah, that's why I made that preface before Blind Spotting, because I would swap this with Blind Spotting. It's Tim Burton's Batman. Cool.
No one else has
the Burton boys.
Is there have it? You don't have Batman?
I decided to just keep Returns.
Oh, between the two, you kept Returns? Okay.
Well, you made a mistake, so here we go.
Okay, Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. I think he does. I think he does the best job out of all of them. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker, and what I really love about this version is that it keeps that kind of crazy element to it that I really think benefits it. Like, it's a story about a billionaire who dresses up as a bat fighting a guy who's dressed as a clown, an anarchist clown. There's a wildness to that kind of story, and I think the Tim Burton Batman actually really kind of captures that world and that kind of idea really well. It's also just really entertaining and really quotable. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I enjoy watching this movie so much. I think it is my favorite superhero movie. And Cody, feel free to roast me now.
Favorite superhero movie? Are you fucked in the head? Like, I'm fine. I get it. Like, Nazario, I give Nazario a pass more than anybody else because, one, he's a Batman guy, and two, this is prime time. It's one of his favorite directors and made Batman. Cool. Nazario, sit in your corner and talk about how great it is. For me, this movie is take off your damn goggles for 4 minutes and realize this movie is not as great as everybody thinks it is. The sequel's even worse, and we'll talk about that at a later point. But, man, this one is bad to me. There are parts I like, of course there's but listen, okay, so for me, example, when I got to play with toys when I was a kid, like the little action figures, they've improved action figures a lot effing better since then, right? They move, they can do different things. This one, he can't even move his damn neck, okay? It doesn't even have any, Jack Nicholson and him are the only 2+, but everybody that says Keaton is the best Batman, grow the hell up. No, he's not. Not by any means. He can't even be Batman. He punches someone and they go flying 6 feet because he can't move in the damn suit.
He's so good they asked him to do it again.
Oh, because guess what? All the nerds are coming out to buy their money. Oh, I'm coming to see Flash. That's the whole reason behind that. That's the only reason people are. You put Keaton back in the suit, everybody loses their damn mind. If you want him as a good superhero, you want him a good protector, go to Birdman. This movie is a joke. This movie is honestly a joke at times. The people that put this in the top, Batman Begins exists, people. I'm just going to throw that out there. And if you don't like that one, if that ain't your cup of tea, Dark Knight is there. I know, it's not a Batman film. Oh, I'm so sick of the 89 camp. The worst crime you could have put is 66 or Returns on your list. Or Forever or Batman and Robin. Yeah, this one's better than all the shit. My 100. This one's the better of the shit. But guess what? I take Lego Batman over 89. That's saying something.
Oh God, that's rough.
It's not else, though, Barr. I'll go.
Walk around and try not to turn your neck so you realize what Keaton felt like in '89.
I'll go. I'm on Cody's side with this. I think this movie's hella overrated. I watched it for the first time last year, and there are Batman movies where stuff actually happens now. Like you can watch movies where Batman actually does things and there's great villains and action that actually looks good. And you choose this one?
Yes.
And there's funny Batman movies, and then there's this which is funny because it's bad, but it's not even the best funny because it's bad Batman movie.
Okay, and pause. I'm going to actually interject real quick. And everybody complains about Dark Knight being a Joker movie. What the hell do you call 89 Batman? They spend more time with Nicholson than they spend with anybody else. And that one gets a pass. He picks up a crowbar and says, let's get nuts. He should have been punched and kicked out the window. Go ahead.
This list needs an enema.
I'll throw it away.
Mike goes next.
I hope me
Definitely
hating
not
this movie earns me goodwill.
It does.
Okay.
We'll see what your 47 is.
Yeah, I agree with Barr. This is my favorite Batman movie. Fuck it. I love this movie. This movie's fucking amazing. Keaton is amazing. Nicholson is amazing. I can watch this all fucking day. I love this movie.
You know, I'm not surprised. 80 and 90, that's where your sweet spot is. So that's you and Mike get a pass. You and Nazario get a pass. Not for the other one he's going to bring up later. He does not get a pass. He will be for that one soon. But go ahead.
Okay. Mike was surprised because in my original list, he knows I had them side by side. I had Returns and I had Batman 89. But, I mean, that was a 2-year-old list and I actually needed some spots. So I decided to just go with the one I had highest, which was Batman Returns, which is the best Tim Burton Batman movie.
Don't talk about it yet.
Two.
I'll kill you.
No Batman could move their head up until the second Christian Bale movie. Even in Batman Begins, he cannot move his freaking neck.
Let's
and
see
Mike
how
is gone. So just leave the man alone. He's the best Batman.
Best Batman. You're a fucking high. Okay, what's your 44?
My
You're
number
right.
40.
You should have spent 40. You know what? It was a big deal. 46 and 45. That's a huge
I warned you.
deal.
I warned you. Like I warned you ahead of time. My number 44 is my favorite Martin McDonagh movie. It is In Bruges.
Okay. Anybody else have In Bruges?
No.
Okay.
In Bruges is a great movie about these two hitmen who were moved to Bruges because one of them made a huge mistake. And I love the banter between Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell in this movie. It's so great, especially when they're talking about like the history of the town of Bruges. It's amazing. And Ralph Fiennes in this is just such a great villain. And there's one quote from him that I use in my daily life. It's like, "You're an inanimate fucking object." So great. I love this movie so much. It's got humor, it's got drama, it's real dark, it's got a lot of great action. This movie's amazing. I love this movie.
It's one I haven't seen. I know the famous line of I know the famous trivia question that's been asked in 17 different leagues about 14 different ways about what happens and why they have to change the locations or move away or do whatever because he makes the wrong shot. But I have not seen it. It's one that I think I would honestly like.
You would love this movie, Cody.
Yeah,
this is a Cody
I think
movie.
I honestly would. It's just I have a lot that I'm trying to get through this year, and I'm close. I'm going to try to break 400 this year, so that'll be a step for me. Mike's already on 1,000, but I'm excited. So quarantine has done this man well. Everybody else on In Bruges.
Same reason as Blind Spotting. I haven't seen it. Also on HBO Max. We'll see at some point soon.
Oh, it is on HBO Max. Sweet. Okay, cool.
I love this movie. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. You go.
No.
You go.
I love this movie. Colin Farrell, the situation with Colin Farrell and the chubby couple, fucking amazing. It's fucking incredible. It is so fucking amazing. It is so bad, but I cannot stop laughing at that sequence.
It's horrible.
Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson are amazing together. They need to do more movies together. The chemistry is top notch. It's a great fucking movie.
I love how Mike just said this scene with Colin Farrell and the chubby couple, and Cody with no context was like, "That sounds like it's pretty funny." Just like starts laughing. I think that scene is fantastic. It's the perfect example of taking a joke and stretching it out way longer than it needs to be, and it just keeps getting funnier because it doesn't stop. I like this movie. McDonagh is just a weird director for me, where the way he does dark comedy doesn't totally land for me every time, but it's good.
Okay, Mike. Oh gosh, where are we going?
Well, I'm 47. Now,
No,
47.
I know what number. I don't know what trajectory we're going on.
How many?
You'll know real quick. It's the greatest 1-2 punch of a director, I believe, ever. We're going to talk about the other one later, but this is Schindler's List.
Yikes! Later on in the episode.
Ooh.
Okay.
46. I have Back to the Future 3.
You are a beautiful fucking man. Beautiful fucking man. Let's go. Let's go.
I love the hell out of this movie. I love the Back to the Future trilogy so much, and this third one is a great fucking ending. I love the way they end it with this movie. Taking it to the Western setting was the right fucking move to do. I love that you learn more about Hill Valley. I love that you get more involved with Marty's family, especially in this one in the Western, and Doc dealing with being a blacksmith is fucking awesome. I love Thomas F. Wilson as Mad Dog Tannen. He is so fucking funny in this. The comedy's there. Everything about this. If you love the Back to the Future trilogy, the other Back to the Future movies, you'll love it just the same. It's so fucking great. It tears me up at the end when you think is going to happens. And if they would have ended there, that would have been such a fucking downer of an ending, but they end it in such a great way. I love this movie through and through. It's a great fucking movie.
There is probably no trilogy out there that has impacted me more than the Back to the Future trilogy. I think these are nearly perfect films. I am not the biggest fan of the second one for certain reasons, but overall, it never takes me away to stop watching them. The fact is, I would honestly have it Back to the Future 1, Back to the Future 3, Back to the Future 2 as my ranking, and it's not by much, but this movie alone is the second funniest in the entire series. There's not even a question in my mind. It is the second funniest. The Clint Eastwood is a yellow belly. The back and forth, like the time travel element in this movie, these movies are just perfect. And especially Doc and Marty, that relationship is pretty much unmatched in most movies. That relationship is great. I could put in any of these at any given point and it takes me back. That score, everything. I love the Old West. I don't care what anybody says. They say they ruined it. I think it was a perfect send-off for this series. I think it's perfect. 46, well done, because if this is 46, I can just imagine where the rest are. So, well done, Mike, on this one. Love it. Everybody else on Back to the Future 3, we'll save Nazario for the end.
I really like Back to the Future 3 a lot. It is a movie that if I'm like flipping through channels and it's on, I will watch it. I just like the other movies on my list better, but this is a great choice.
There are times when I think this might be my favorite of the three. I think. Oh, sorry, I cut out for a second. There are times like in this movie that I think are just fantastic. I think it's really fun. I think the way they play with the history is really interesting. I really like this movie.
I'm gonna shoot you like a duck. This movie is lovely. It is the least one I rewatch the most. I mean, I really like it. I like the other two better. Maybe because of the way that I experience them. But even at that, this movie on its own is worth it. It's funny. It's lovely. It's a beautiful story, and finally the dog gets some spotlight because he has been the sidekick for most of the series up to this point, and now Marty gets to help him out a bit. And the imagination going in this movie, it's insane. The way they try to run the machine back in time with the horses, and then they start doing like the math of what other ways can figure it out. And even in the ending, when they come with the time traveling locomotive steam powered out of nowhere, it's just a great visual set piece. They keep one of these in Universal Studios in Florida. I have like 10 pictures with it. It's a beautiful machine. And yeah, I probably should have put 3 Back to the Future movies on my top 100, but I guess I didn't.
It's the fact that I wanted a DeLorean for the longest time and never will be able to buy one. So it's, yeah.
Never say never.
Just get a car with the wing doors.
There is a beautiful movie that just came out It's like $50, and it has lights. It's a beautiful toy.
Mike, what's your Mike's so far winning this episode? I think so. What is your next one?
45, I believe, was a yikes from an earlier episode. Pulp Fiction.
Does it stop here? What the fuck? Who else had Pulp?
I had it.
That's what it was.
Are you the only two? Kill me.
I can explain.
Kill me. Go ahead.
I love the hell out of this movie. This was one of the first movies that I was able to rewatch over and over again because I just loved every bit of this fucking movie. This used to be my favorite Tarantino movie. There's one that is a little bit better. I still think they're fucking great together, but I have one more on my list. I love the hell out of this movie. I think it's fucking fantastic. Every performance in this is great. Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames together are fucking magic. Their whole entire storyline is magic up until the bitter end. You got John Travolta and Samuel Jackson knock it out of the park together. I can fucking watch those guys talk all goddamn day. They're amazing. Quentin Tarantino sequence is amazing. And fucking every single performance, even the Tim Roth sequence at the beginning, doesn't matter how small. Every single one matters, and every single one packs a fucking punch that knocks it out of the park. I love everything about this. It's one of Quentin Tarantino's best fucking movies ever. It's a great fucking movie.
Tarantino revolutionized cinema with the idea of interjecting people's lives. This was the first one that decided, like, you know what? You have these characters. None of them is really the star of the movie because they're all important and they all interact with each other in different moments. You don't have to see it chronologically. I can just show you what happens here and what happens there, and you can piece it out because you're smart enough. And also, it's disgustingly rich with dialogue. This is probably a movie where, I mean, I don't think what the plot is itself is as important as people just talking shit, you know? People still keep quoting about, how do you call a quarter pounder in France? What is that? That doesn't throw away line on any other movie. And here, everybody's like, oh, that's it. And how much is a milkshake supposed to be worth? These things are so enriching because of the way he uses his cinematic skill. He's a great writer. And yes, he has made better movies. And I also have other movies of him in my list. But this was the entry point for me. I watched this even before I watched Reservoir Dogs, which probably actually gets me to why I don't love Reservoir Dogs as much as other people. But this movie is just perfect. And it works timelessly. You can watch this now. You could have watched it 20 years ago. It's just feels great.
Just have a question. Does Marcel Wallace look like a bitch?
What?
Correct.
What?
This is my favorite Tarantino. I know there are some that I would consider maybe better made, but this is the first one that I watched all the way through, and I hit play immediately after. I watched it back to back. I think this movie is brilliant. It has so many elements in it that I find just so fascinating. Like, the only problem in this entire movie is himself. Tarantino, I think, is terrible at acting. I really do. That scene always just drives me effing nuts. But it's so funny to watch, so that's why I don't hate it for that reason. I just think you need to stop. Pay somebody $100,000 to be that part. But even the cleanup, when they're driving down the road and he shoots the guy in the head by accident, the entire cleanup scene, it's great. I find it's the dialogue in it is so perfect. And Samuel Jackson, I think he was nominated for this, right?
I believe so.
Or he should have been, and he should have won. I think he's flipping brilliant throughout this movie. He should thank Tarantino alone because this literally created him as a character throughout. Of that character work, of who he becomes in later movies. You can grin your teeth all you want. It's a fact of life. He plays this part. What?
Spike Lee would like to have a word with you.
No, I'm still saying this is exactly it. This is the exact reason why it literally launched it. I'm not saying it launched his career, but it's who he is now. But yeah, should have won the Oscar, hands down. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So everybody else I don't give a damn. That motherfucker didn't shoot somebody and recycle Bible verse while they shot him. So everybody else on Pulp Fiction.
So, I have seen this movie once when I was 14. Probably a mistake on my... Yeah, I'm a bit young to be watching Pulp Fiction, especially for Cameron, the church boy Holzman.
I saw it in the theater, mind you. I was like 6.
Mike, that explains so many... That answers so many questions.
Mike was a fucked up kid, okay? He was fucked up.
But no, I think it's very good. I just have not rewatched it since. I own it, and I've been meaning to get around to it. I just haven't, and there are other Tarantinos that I like better.
This is my third favorite Tarantino movie. I like this movie a lot. I don't love it. Mainly because I like parts of it more than I like the movie overall. I agree that the scenes with the wolf are great. I really like the Mia scenes. However, like there are some scenes in the Butch part that I just don't care for that much. I don't think they're bad. I just don't care for them. So I like parts of this movie, but I don't love this movie as a whole.
It's his third favorite Tarantino, and he wants to cut out half the film.
I didn't say cut out. Tweak.
Makes sense. Oh, you literally said you like parts, and it's your third favorite. I imagine what your fourth is. It's the worst film ever made. Good lord.
No, I'm sorry. Wait. This is my fourth favorite Tarantino movie.
See, the worst film ever made. No.
Oh gosh, I can imagine the third one. Okay, guys, you didn't even have. This is your fourth favorite Tarantino. You didn't even. Okay, I'm just
surprised he's not going to make my list at all.
Tarantino's not on your list at all.
My number 101.
I kind of figured at this point.
It made legit
number
my
11.
101. Legit my 101.
You know what? If Tarantino would just like squirt blood somewhere, but also sing and tap dance at the same time, brilliant. Made the list.
Maybe.
I want to slam my head into a door. Yeah, thank you. Gosh.
Let him remake the music, man, and then he'll love it.
You know what? That would be amazing if Tarantino remade the music, man. I'd watch that.
Please go. I'm sad.
Well, I think it's Mike's 44.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike's. I'm sorry, you already talked about it. I would just like to talk about this more because there's parts of it that I would not like to cut. I would actually like to add more. Okay, Mike, what's your next one?
44. We're back to Crazy Mike. It is David Cronenberg's The Fly.
That's a yikes.
Oh shit! That's what I'm talking about.
Well, we'll find some weird shit later. I thought he gets pretty deformed in that one. I thought it'd at least be top 20. Okay.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
All right, 47.
My number 47.
48. I
2011's Footloose.
Okay.
Hey, Koho, I think you put the wrong year on that one.
Nope, he didn't.
Oh, are we really? Okay,
we're really doing this.
Hey, can you put up the graphic? I'm gonna head out. This show isn't worth it anymore. I'll be honest with you.
In case I don't see ya.
That was the day the show died.
I cannot defend that 2011's Footloose is a good movie. I cannot in any way claim that it is a great movie, but it's a movie I like. And so that's why it makes my top 100. Yeah, thank you. I can wait. That's fine. I'm just gonna I'm gonna do my teacher thing where when co-host is misbehaving, I'll just say I can wait.
Please don't drag this hell out any longer. So keep going, please.
Yeah, no. I really enjoy this movie. I can't apologize for the fact that I do. I just think it's fun. I think that Julianne Hough is actually really good in this movie, surprisingly. I think Dennis Quaid is... I know, I'm sorry. I think Dennis Quaid is fantastic. I think the choreography in it is great. Miles Teller is just playing a dumb country hick, and he's so charming in it. I'm sorry, but I love this movie.
Is the other Footloose on your list?
No.
Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the 84, I believe it is. Yeah, 84.
Yep, 84. Greatest year.
No, that's true. It's like, I'm confused. Like, the first one is better. The first one is better.
I think actually the remake has a higher critic score than this one does. Than the remake has a higher critic score than the original.
Well, they must be handing out something during the viewing. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because you're flipping on crack.
Free t-shirts.
Like, if you're talking about Rotten Tomatoes, like, yeah, because Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around. The Rotten Tomatoes was around when this one comes out. Now there's just a bunch of angry critics that are going back and be like, Footloose sucks. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather have Kevin Bacon run me over with the tractor itself than watch the 2011 Footloose. Like, the first one makes Chris Penn, like, he dances. And well.
Yeah,
like, the music's great. John Lithgow is fantastic in the first one. Like, that's a Reverend Dad, like, combination that you don't even want to F with. Like, I hated that man. Dennis Quaid's fine, but jeez. 48 was Mean Girls. What the hell? Okay.
If I had to switch them, my life would be.
If I start giving out winning and losing, starting 50 on, you just hit the.
If I had to switch Mean Girls and Footloose, my life would be so much better in this moment.
That would be a take. You should have left it at 50 and just. I understand, but 47. Why? Wrong decision. Everybody else. I know this was close. Why did it miss?
I haven't seen this version.
Of course you haven't.
Well, he used that Julianne Hough is good in this movie.
Okay, Brian.
Has anybody ever heard more of a incorrect statement ever? She's never good in anything. Rock of Ages? Footloose?
Dancing with the Stars?
I can't even. I mean, what?
Return to Oz doesn't look so bad anymore.
I actually Googled him, and he's right. This movie's fresh, 69%, and Footloose 84 is 51.
69.
What is happening?
Dude, shrooms. Shrooms is happening.
I watched this movie, and I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I returned it without really seeing the rest.
They dance. I'll tell you, they dance.
What? Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Mike.
I watched it. I took it out of the DVD player, and then I drop-kicked it across the fucking universe.
Oh,
the fucking movie.
I found a movie Mike Hanley thinks is bad.
What would you give this out of, like, the star review? Is this a half star?
I don't go anything below 2, so I would give it a 2.5 because a 2 is reserved for movies that you can't fucking even begin to watch. Like, at least I watched 2.5.
Yo, Cam's right. It has a higher review than the 84 version. Yeah, the 84 version has 51%.
Oh my Nazario just said it.
Well, he
needed to be said again for the people.
He said 51 and the other 69.
I found a movie Mike Hanley thinks is bad. Didn't I do
Hammer.
this last week too?
Hammer. Yeah. Have you only watched 100 movies?
No, I've actually watched over 1,000, good sir.
Well, let's see what the next one is. I'm excited.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. Okay, let's just rip that Band-Aid, throw it away. My 46 is Snowpiercer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Word.
What the hell? How are these disclosed? Snowpiercer 2011 Footloose. Oh, Snowpiercer just a little bit harder.
Cody, I'm gonna tell you right now.
I would rather
your
stick
reaction
my
is
arm
bad
out
to this.
the train
My
than watch 2011 Snowpiercer. 2011's Footloose. Good lord.
Cody, if you, I can't wait till we get to my 34.
God.
Oh
No.
my God.
Snowpiercer. This is my favorite of Bong Joon-ho's movies. This was my introduction to who Bong Joon-ho was as a director. I think this movie is incredible. I think it's visually stunning. Chris Evans gives a fantastic performance in this movie. The monologue that he gives at the end about the thing he hates most about himself is heartbreaking and just incredible. The action in this movie is so great, even though it's all in these like really enclosed spaces. Like the Happy New Year fight is insane and gives me so much anxiety, where they get there and just people just start counting down and they go Happy New Year, and there's these dudes in masks with hatchets, and it's so anxiety inducing, and you know exactly what's going to happen. And then everything goes dark and you realize they have night vision goggles and the heroes don't, and it's terrifying. I think it's great. It's full of fantastic twists and turns. Forgive me for Footloose, please.
No.
So Snowpiercer was a movie that I watched the first time. One, I felt like it was 17 hours long. It took me so long to get through the first time. I think it's the tension filled and everything. And I would have given it like a 2-star. Honestly, first time watching it, 2 stars. I don't understand it. I didn't like it. And I think I was just in a bad mood, to be honest with you. So I was like, as soon as I started to log in on Letterboxd, I was like, no, I'm going to rewatch that movie because I don't feel like I'm giving it a proper rating. It's 4.5 stars. I think it's brilliant. I think it's honestly one of the most surprising films. It's visually stunning. This movie kind of went under the radar for most people. I know in this community people talk about Snowpiercer, but like the general public, I could tell half the people and they'd be like, what the hell are you talking about Snowpiercer? The grittiness of this movie, the development of the train, isn't it Ed Harris at the end?
Yeah.
Like crazy development with everything. Huh?
It's always Ed Harris.
It's always Ed Harris. That's a fact. It's always Ed Harris. But you're sitting there. I think that's what I even thought about when it showed up. I'm like, of course you're the bad guy. Why wouldn't you be the bad guy? But Ed Harris, like the overall, like how they believe throughout it, and like tells the story, and even the ending and everything is just perfect. And like when I won't tell what happened, but when they like lift the grate, I'm just like, I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded by this movie. I think everybody. The only thing I hate is Tilda Swinton, but I'm supposed to hate Tilda Swinton, so that's fine. But she makes me want to vomit like every time she's on screen. Those teeth, oh gosh. But overall, movie is brilliant. I think it is brilliant. I think I like Parasite better, just because Parasite like really had me like, what the hell? But this one's great. Good choice for 46. How the hell they were this close? Whatever. Everybody else on Snowpiercer. I know Nazario just recently saw it.
Yeah. That's it for me. Honestly, this is the one movie that probably would have broken the top 100 if I had seen it before we started filming it. I just went to watch it because of the TV show. The TV show came up, and I was like, hey, what's this? And I talked about it with a few people, and they're like, just watch the movie, man. And luckily for me, it is on international. I think it's in American Netflix. So I just beat the hell out of that thing, and I put it in, and damn, this is the third Bong Joon-ho movie that I watched. And it is my favorite. I loved everything from beginning to end. And that scene when Chris Evans finally reaches the top of the train, but he doesn't go in. He just sits and he talks about his experience in getting on the train. Heartbreaking, man. But this movie is like bananas. Until the Swinton, man, she's just the male Johnny Depp. She's just gonna show up and be goofy. You have to deal with it.
Let's calm down there.
Yeah, let's save the slander. Cody, there's a reason that this movie is not really well known outside of this community. It's the same reason that Sing Street's not well known outside of this community, and his name is Harvey Weinstein, and he's a monster. This is a movie that I've only seen one time, and it's one that I need to rewatch. I remember really enjoying it when I first watched it the first time, but I'm kind of with Cody. I think if I watch it a second time, it's gonna shoot right up.
Don't you ever say Sing Street and Snowpiercer in the same breath. Awful comparison. Oh,
I'm not comparing the movies. I'm just saying.
I know. They shouldn't even be in the same breath. Trash.
But do you not like Sing Street?
Trash.
It's a great fucking movie. I love this movie to death. The conversations in it, between all the fighting and between all the fucking craziness, are amazing. The sequence of her, like Cody brought up, of getting your arm fucking iced over outside the train is insane. I love this movie. It's a great fucking movie.
Oh, and they did do the history lessons on that. Oh, it's so crazy to me. This is such a Mike movie too, like hands down. Like if I had to pick. All right, what's 45?
My 45. I said earlier I enjoy just kind of dumb comedy. My 45 is Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yeah, all right. I love this movie. This is one of those movies that, so I'm like the youngest of my entire family, of all my cousins and everything. And this is a movie that one time we're camping and my cousins are like, oh, you guys have to see this. And they showed it to us. And I loved it since then, and I've been watching it ever since. I absolutely love it. I think Carrie Elwes is fantastic as both like a legitimate Robin Hood and a parody of the Robin Hood character. Because, like, I think if you cast him in a serious Robin Hood movie, he would do fantastic at it, but he's going just so above and beyond and just, like, tongue-in-cheek doing the Errol Flynn Robin Hood so well that it works perfectly. The jokes in it are fantastic. The Blinken is such a great character, and all the exchanges with him when Robin gets back and is just like, oh, what happened to my entire family? And it's like, oh, what about my dog Pongo? He got run over by a carriage. My goldfish Goldie was eaten by the cat. My cat choked to death on the goldfish. like it's just perfect escalation of jokes over and over and over. The fight at the river where the sticks keep breaking, so they eventually just give up and decide to let him go across. It's great. I love it. And then all the musical numbers in it are super fun, and the Men in Tights song is iconic.
Robin Hood Men in Tights is one of the best one of those comedies that I absolutely love. Yes. Like, I think it's hilarious. Like, the entire part was like, Robin, you returned. You lost your arms, but you grew nice boobs. Like, fantastic. Like, the comedic delivery between all of them is like, fish ate by the cat. My cat choked on the goldfish. And it was just like, isn't it wonderful to be home, Robin? Like, you lost everybody, but isn't it wonderful? I think it's great. I think it's one of the best Robin. I think it is, in my eyes, the best.
It's my favorite Robin Hood movie, and it's not close.
Besides maybe the animated, but like it is my favorite. It is my favorite Robin Hood by far. Or live action. I think they've done it perfectly because at the end of the day, the character is ridiculous. The character is one of the most ridiculous characters that has ever existed. And then this one like leans into how ridiculous the actual movie is. So like that's why I think I respect it a lot. And that humor doesn't always work with me, but this one is it's top notch. What does everybody else think about it?
I enjoy this movie. I like some other Mel Brooks films better than this, but I enjoy this movie. And you guys stole the quote I was going to use from Blinken. So, and Dave Chappelle is great in this movie.
Yeah.
To escape this dungeon, it will take a great feat of strength. Au contraire! Now that you're here, what we have is great strength of feet. This movie is very, very funny. And it's in a period where Mel Brooks was kind of not being that funny anymore. It's weird because it's sandwiched between two movies that are pretty bad. But, yeah, I mean, if I was going to put Mel Brooks in my list, I probably would be between this and two other movies. But it's a decent pick. I like it.
Mel Brooks is a comedic genius. I love all of his movies, this one included. It's so fucking funny. Mel Brooks is so fucking awesome in these fucking movies. This movie, Carrie Elwes steals the fucking show. I love him as Robin Hood. He's incredible.
And then my 44 was Blind Spotting, so I'm done for now.
Did we lost the host?
Yeah, we lost the host. Koho, take over.
Give me 1 second.
Oh. God.
There he is. Oh God.
All I gotta say.
He looks like the wizard's head from the
You want to know how fucking pissed I am at each and every single one of you? Let's call this the You're on Trial segment. Barr, what the fuck are you thinking? With fucking I lost my reasoning to be upset. Ha! What was it? Oh, Singing in the Rain at 48? What's wrong with you?
I'm the only one who had it.
You still no excuse. You had it too low, you monster. Okay. Mike, what did you have? I forget. You had something. I was really happy that you fucking had goddamn Back to the Future Part 3, but like, hold up, I assume all three are on here then. So you have it the lowest? Fuck you.
That's what you get on me. I'm the one that fucking had it, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, everyone else, fuck you too. No, what did you have this
I'll drink
episode
to
that I
that.
didn't like?
I mean,
No, my fuck you is that you fucking changed your 50 and 49 on me, and I forgot to do it. If you even told me at all, so I had fucking in the Mouth the Madness at 49.
Dude, that is literally on the list I'm looking at right now. I made sure to double check. The list I sent you has 50 in the Mouth of Madness, 49. Catch me if you can.
Okay,
I swear.
well, the one that I have has it flipped,
Yikes.
so I put the banner in wrong. So fuck you, it's gonna be wrong. All right,
Mike, I looked at your letterbox
Cam-
and I got really excited because I saw Catch Me If You Can was in your favorites, and I was like, "Is it top 4 for
Cam-
Mike Handley?" Hi, I know
love
I
that
messed
movie.
up.
I want to like you, and then fucking Footloose.
I know it's very
and I
hard
knew
right
it
now.
was coming too, and it still hurt me.
All right, let's go back and check.
Okay.
Nazario. Oh, Nazario. What is yours?
47. Disney's Lilo and Stitch.
Yikes!
That's good.
Leroy
Do another
takes
episode.
second too, so just wait.
Okay, my number 46 is Pixar's Ratatouille. I guess no one has it. Okay, Ratatouille is a beautiful, beautiful story, and it's not because of its overwrap. It's because of the message of what it is. It starts showing that everybody can do anything as long as they put their mind into it and they make a strong effort enough to do it. And the medium they choose to do this for is a rat that has a perfect sense of smell and wants to become a chef. By the way, this is the second movie I put with somebody has a perfect sense of smell. Interesting. Okay, and the message that actually comes in the end is something that we all as movie fans should appreciate very much. The role of the critic in the life of art. Because I really was loving this movie pretty much middle to good to great actually. But then the character of Anton Ego shows up. And the way they treat the last scene, where he finally gets away from his smugness enough to try the meal that was prepared for him. And the way they visually show how it affects him, it brought me back to my childhood. I have felt things that bring me that much joy, that have no sense giving you that much joy. And it's a beautiful moment. And then the speech that he says in the end when he gives the review to the restaurant, it's just, you know, guys, we all love movies and we all want to seem smart and be dicks about it. But come on, sometimes you just gotta tell it how it is. It's a beautiful film.
Yeah, I think this movie gets hurt by certain people in this community, clouding it as one of the best Pixar movies. I agree it's one of the tops, but it's a little beaten over the head sometimes that how great it is. I think it's really good. I think the score is really good. I think my kids really enjoy this movie. It's something that they've gravitated to. They think it's great. And honestly, it should work, but I think the voice talents and everything tied up to it. And I think the ending is beautiful. So I have no issue. I think after I do my rewatch of all of them, I think it will probably be in my top 10. Just because I think there's some that I grew up on a little bit closer, like the Finding Nemo's, The Incredibles, and stuff like that, that hold a special spot in my heart just because I was a kid when I watched them. But no, great choice overall. What does everybody else think about Ratatouille?
This movie is very special to me. It's probably my second favorite Pixar movie, if not my first favorite Pixar movie. I'm someone who... My mom, I started to learn how to cook when I was 13. My mom taught me. So this movie is very special to me in the sense that Remy speaks to me on a very emotional level. So I love this movie so much.
I haven't seen it.
Ouch.
Yeah, I've seen this. I think it's good. It's not a top Pixar movie for me. I understand why a lot of people love it. I just have never really fallen in love with it the way other people have, but it's good. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm moving on to my number 45. My number 45 is the second best movie of 1998, Alex Proyas' Dark City.
Wow.
This movie, it's amazing sci-fi at its best. It's a very simple story of a man that wakes up in a bathtub and he doesn't know who he really is. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what's happening. And then these shadowy figures called the strangers show up. And he suddenly sees them doing stuff that really don't make sense. Moving people, like everybody's sleeping except him. And they move them and change their clothes and inject them with something mysterious. And then as the story develops, he realizes that he's the only one who keeps the memories. He talks to some people one day, and the next day they are a different person. They have a different name, and they act completely like strangers to him. Why is this? He doesn't know. He wants to find out. Also, why it's never daylight here? It's always night. The way it develops the characters and the way it treats the main love story with Jennifer Connelly, it's very interesting on itself. But once Kiefer Sutherland comes in and explains what's happening, and you figure it out, and you realize that the world is not really what you think it was, this movie just turns up to 11 and becomes an engrossing, timeless sci-fi classic that I can't believe not more people watch. If you can, go watch this movie. It's from the director of The Crow, and it's perfect.
Oh, the Dark City, so good, so great. I haven't seen it. Haven't heard of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. But it was really close, real close to making my top 100. I'll tell you. Let me actually tell you something. This one's actually closer with me not seeing it than 2011 Footloose from making my list, and I've actually seen that one. So. Yeah, I would lie to say I saw something before putting Footloose on the list. That's what I said. How does everybody else think about Dark City?
I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard from other people and what I heard from your description, it kind of sounds a little bit like a better version of The Matrix.
A lot of people compare it to The Matrix.
That is better.
Barr is the guy that rolls out a scroll and all it says is no. But it's this long to say it.
That is the kind of joke I would make. Let's not lie.
No.
To quote
in 12-inch font.
To quote the team formerly known as We're Your Density. Oh, so that's what Dark City's about. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
That's fair too.
It's a great fucking movie. Rufus Sewell is fucking amazing in this. Kiefer Sutherland is amazing. I love the entire concept of this movie. And yes, it is rightfully so compared to The Matrix. I love both. But Dark City has just that little something extra there.
And it didn't make your list.
It did not make my list, no.
He's lying to you, Nazara, just to let you know. Go ahead, Nazara. What's your 44?
And my number 44 is the most on-brand thing I'll say in the whole list. Is the Lego movie.
It's the Lego guy. What can you expect? It's the Lego guy. It's gotta be.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I didn't put Lego Batman though, but the Lego movie I couldn't leave off my list. This movie is perfect. It's made for Lego fans, adults and young. It's made for children, and it spoke directly to me. This movie, when I watched it, I was Will Ferrell. And then I had my kid, and I understood it. Because I rewatched it when my kid was born 3 years after this movie was released. And then, while I was watching that end scene that most people already know what happens, it's revealed that the whole story is taking place in the imagination of a little child was playing with his father's toys. And I saw Will Ferrell point the kid to the little bucket of pieces in the corner like, that's your Lego. Don't touch my shit. And I looked to the right, and I saw my toys. And I looked to the left, and I saw a little bucket of toys in the corner. I was like, God damn it! It's me! I love this movie. It's perfect. It works on all levels, and it made me a little less of a Scrooge with my toys with my kid, too. So.
Then you cut his ear. Okay, anyways. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. When everybody was outraged that it did not get nominated, so I was like, man, I gotta check this movie out. I'm sitting there, everything is awesome. Cool. Fucking still happening. Like, the best thing would have happened if, like, freaking Will Ferrell would have just flipped the entire thing. Flipped it all, flipped the entire set over, hurt everybody. I couldn't, no. I think this movie is annoying. It's like you put everything, like, I think Lego, you're right, for kids, 100%. I can't fault that. But, like, I'm so used to, like, Pixar and stuff like that show, like, adult themes. This one, goo goo gaga. I thought I was like, this is Boss Baby level. This is some bullshit. Yeah, I do not like this one at all. Shouldn't have been nominated. You're correct. They should have nominated They should have nominated my short film that I made in my backyard with old wrestling action figures over this movie. So no, thank you, Lego. Pass. Stop making Lego movies for the love of everything, or put them straight to DVD. I don't need to see these anymore in theaters. I don't care if you put Batman on them or not.
They're making a sequel to Lego Batman.
Kill me.
Hell yeah.
How close was this to make? This is number 11 for somebody?
Not me. I like this movie. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I do want to see video of Nazario watching this movie and in that moment that he described and just going, "It's me! I'm the monster!" Like I would rather watch that than the Lego movie.
I can just that's all. The only thing that made me think of that is him go down there and the son goes down and plays with one of them, and Nazario walks in and loses his shit. What are you doing? You don't play with that? That's my toy.
Don't you touch that?
Not you. You get the cheap ones. I spend money on mine. Yeah, I can see him right now.
You get the duplex toys.
He's literally the kid at the playground that says, "No, I play with this one. Now I'm done. You play with that one. I want this one. This is mine." Like he's that. I'm done with this one. You can have it now.
I have become numb to this film. For the past 2 summers, I've worked at a camp where we teach stop motion animation. So every week that we run a stop motion camp, we watch this movie because we do Lego animation. And so I've seen.
It's called hell.
Yeah. I've seen this movie 15, 20 times. And when I first saw it, I really liked it. And over time, like, eventually one of my co-leaders was like, "Hey, we should start playing the Lego Batman movie instead of the Lego movie." And I was like, "No, we're not making me numb to that too."
Do you realize that you were, like, torturing kids? What the hell?
We signed a contract that said we would play the movie. We literally, like, it's part of the curriculum that we run.
Dude, I would be thrown in jail. Just take me. Nope, not gonna watch that one.
I think it's a pretty good fucking movie, but I completely understand why Nazario has it on the top 100.
That makes sense.
He fucking should have it, especially his explanation. I completely understand it, and I get it. And I support it 100%. Blockbuster is now back together.
We're back together, yeah!
He's the only one of us that, like, builds Legos on a regular basis. So, yeah, you get a pass. All right. Oh, God. Barr, go ahead.
All right. My number 43 is also a movie I shouldn't have seen when I was as young as I was. But you know what? It still holds up to this day. It's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's some motherfucking yikes.
You're my man, Nazario.
All right, Mike.
Okay, 43.
Say it so no one else yikes it. Go ahead.
I got the ultimate 80s looking movie ever. It's the fucking Lost Boys. This is quintessential 80s. I love the hell out of this movie. Sleep all day, party all night. This is fucking vampire love right here, man. Kiefer Sutherland as a fucking crazy looking vampire. The moment he turns into that vampire, my life was complete, and I was ready to fucking rock and roll with this movie. The soundtrack is incredible. The fucking saxophone, come on. One of the greatest fucking sequences ever. The fucking saxophone scene is by far fucking incredible. It's got the jokes. It's got Death by Stereo. Holy shit, it's a Tacavetti monster. It's got it all, and it's got the 2 Coreys when they were actually beloved, not, later on in life. It's a great fucking movie. Keith Sutherland, the ultimate fucking vampire.
Oh, guys, this is not a Cody movie. I'll tell you that much. Not a fan of this one. Fitting. Show the time of recording right now. It's kind of crazy that you bring this up today with Joel Schumacher's passing. But why was Corey Feldman the thing? I'm still trying to figure that one out, guys.
It was
because he was cool.
I think it was more
He's
Corey
the
Haim
better
than it
Corey.
was Corey Feldman with them together.
Yeah, Corey Haim, but still Corey Feldman's in it. I just don't understand why he was ever a thing.
He's still a
but
thing.
I understand
for the wrong reasons at this point.
I don't even know if he's still doing stuff, but I don't share anything with me. Whoa. Okay. So yeah. Not my movie. Not my movie. I was not born around this time, so I'll pass on that one. Everybody else on Lost Boys? Cam had a reaction to it, so I'm curious.
Yeah, this I have a vendetta against this movie because I got a question about it in Game of Factions and I missed it by a word.
Do you show it every week at a camp when you teach people to do that?
No, I've seen this movie once, and this movie, the thing is, I get it because it's such a Mike Hanley movie, but it's so not a Cameron movie. I like Corey Feldman. I like Corey Feldman more than Corey Haim because he's in two great '80s movies and also this one. Nah, man, this movie's dumb.
I mean, I think
go to someone else.
Be really a thing, so that's fine.
Where's my scroll?
I haven't seen it. He told me this. I promise. Almost caught.
Can I have a theater?
No.
Joel Schumacher is a man that made wildly different movies. He made genre movies. He made some drama movies, and they are varying widely levels of quality, as Batman and Robin and Batman Forever can attest. But this is one of the good ones. Actually, Lost Boys is a really fun 80s vampire movie that, I mean, I watched it when I was like 12 years old. I loved it. It's amazing.
I'm telling you, I don't know if it's like where we grew up, Nazario, but amazing means something different in the United States. I'm going to promise you on that one. But anyways, what is Cam's? Oh, God, 43.
I am a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar. Serenity, the 2005 one, not the crappy Matthew McConaughey and Hathaway movie. This is, yeah. No one else has it? Cool. I assume no one would. For those who don't know, Serenity is the film follow-up to the show Firefly. Now that that's out of the way, I love...
Never heard of it.
I love the show, and I love this movie. I think that it is the perfect way to conclude everything that was sort of just left out there by the show. I also think it stands on its own perfectly well. I think the action scenes in this are incredible. There's a fight like in the middle of an energy reactor between Chiwetel Ejiofor and Nathan Fillion, which is awesome. I think that Summer Glau gives it a fantastic performance. Alan Tudyk is my favorite part of this movie. The leaf on the wind moment is heartbreaking because like they lead you to believe that everything's gonna be fine, and he's been like trying to make this his catchphrase for the entire thing. Everyone's like, dude, just shut up, just stop it. And then he finally gets to say it all the way through, and then things go horribly, horribly wrong. And I think it's beautiful. I think it gives a great explanation behind things that happen in the series that they planned to explain that they never got the chance to. Like the origin of the Reavers is really, really interesting when you learn about what happened. My only issue with the movie is that they did not use Shepard Book enough in this film because he's one of the best characters in the show, and he's kind of thrown to the sidelines. But this movie's fantastic. I love it.
Brian Michaels, Kirk Kowalkowski have brought this movie up numerous times.
Yeah.
I told them I haven't seen Firefly. They're like, you don't have to, and I said I don't really care. Never been interested to actually see it. I'm going to be honest with you. I hear it's great. I hear the show's fine. It's only a season, so I should be able to watch it. But No.
It's great.
Everybody else?
Haven't seen it.
Take a shot.
1. Never watch Serenity without watching Firefly. That makes no sense.
Thank you. Okay, that's what everybody says. You don't have to, but I don't.
Firefly is actually a show that I missed when originally it aired, and since I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, and it's the same creator, I was convinced to just buy it blindly on DVD, and I just sat down, and 13 hours later, I had binged, before binging was a thing, the whole series of Firefly, and I was upset at myself that I couldn't support the show when it was on, and very heartbroken that it got left hanging like it did. The movie does come back and try to close most of the stories. Like Cam said, the Reavers reveal, it's heartbreaking. It's something that obviously was planned for the show, and they just never got the chance to do it. I'm not sure I liked the way they turned the River character for the movie. I get it. I mean, maybe that's what they were going to do on the long run, but it's so different from what River is on the series that it's kind of a little jarring. And like he says, the thing in the series is about a whole bunch of people. It's like 8 or 9 people. I forgot the amount. That they all have equal amounts of screen time, and they're all equally important. And the movie picks the top 5 and makes the movie about them. And the rest just show up because they have to. I wish this movie was longer so they would have developed the characters a little better. I do think it's a good ending to the series, and it's a great movie. But we deserve more.
I love the TV series. I thought this was a good fucking movie. I just haven't seen it in so long that I need to give it a rewatch.
That's fair. Okay, Nazario, what's your 43?
My number 43 is Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park.
Oh, fuck Jesus fucking Christ. You already know what to do. Just be gone. Be gone, dude. Be fucking gone. Jesus.
Mike, I think you're legally obligated to say the word.
It is yikes. It's the biggest fucking yikes on the fucking planet. Have you seen behind me right now? It's a fucking yikes behind.
Okay. Barr, what's your 42?
My number 2 is also a Spielberg film. Hey, it is Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's a fucking yikes. Jesus, what the fuck's happening right now? What the hell is going on?
Hey, Mike, do you like Spielberg?
Maybe. I can't tell at this point.
Fair. All right, Mike, what's your 40? Well, it's also a Spielberg, and here it is.
I know, right? No, my 42, we just talked about him. R.I.P. Joel Schumacher. This time, it's Falling Down. Fuck, man. Michael Douglas is so incredible in this movie. The first time I saw this movie, I went, Michael Douglas is having the worst day of his fucking life in this movie.
Was he falling down?
Anything bad that can happen in this movie happens, and anything you would want to do, like fast food joint, you don't get the right order. You want fucking breakfast, but they're serving lunch. He takes care of it with a fucking gun. He goes, give me my motherfucking breakfast. He can't walk on the street because of construction. He takes out a fucking grenade launcher and goes, get the fuck out, I'm walking this way. He messes with gangbangers, and he beats the hell out, because they want his briefcase, he beats the hell out of them with a bat. They come back to do a drive-by on him. They hit everybody but him, and he doesn't even move. And then they crash the car. And then he goes and shoots them. This is such a batshit crazy movie. It gets so fucking insane. He battles a Nazi in this movie, and it's fucking hilarious. Every single portion of this movie is great. Robert Duvall plays a detective who is on the verge of trying to get Michael Douglas, but he's always one step behind. And they have a duel at the end. And I will not spoil it because it is the greatest duel you will ever see in a fucking movie. It's a great fucking movie. It is Falling Down.
You don't normally sell movies that make me interested whatsoever. You just said about 14,000 things that made me go, hell yes. When and where? And then that was even before you brought in Bobby D. That's before you brought in Robert Duvall. Like, yeah. I am all on board. Let's freaking go. Yep, I will be watching Falling Down this year for sure. And I know it's crazy because it's December, guys, but I will be watching it. I hope to have a review on it before this series is over.
You better hold on to that promise.
That looks epic. That sounds flipping epic. When you said drive-by, well, those are rather shitty shots. But you know what? Let's go.
I will say something. I think I forgot about this movie until Mike just mentioned it again. And yes, talking about Joel Schumacher, this is a great movie, and it's a drama, even if it doesn't really sound like it. But it's also
it's considered a drama.
When the guy gets the crappy ass sandwich for breakfast on the fast food joint, and he says like, "Look at the damn picture, and this is what you give me. This is what is wrong with this country." Oh man, that's just perfect. And the Nazi thing is like the guy gave no fucks. The Nazi was like, "Yeah, you just shot at those blackies. Yeah, we're not. We are not." That movie's awesome. Fucking awesome.
I haven't seen it.
I'm
Watch
shocked.
it immediately.
Yeah, I don't know what term you just used, but let's keep from using it, even if you're quoting. I don't know if that's what I caught correctly. Okay.
We've been canceled. Goodbye, everybody.
Are we not already been canceled? I thought this was just for fun.
Music.
If I use the quote, we would be fucking canceled. So no.
Yeah. The quote is way worse than what Nazario has said. I will say that.
In case I don't see ya.
All right. Kim.
I don't know. All right. Well, to follow that, my 42 is Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yay! I had this earlier.
Oh, you did, right? I asked this for you already. No one's Xing it. No one's Xing it. Cool.
No, it's not here.
Yeah. I think this movie's fantastic. It's the Coen brothers. I think it's one of their most simple movies where it's just we're following this guy for 1 week in his life, and very specifically, it's the week where everything is kind of going wrong for him. Like the movie opens and he finds out that this girl that he was with at one point is now pregnant, and it's just him being like, "Oh, I don't really know how to deal with this situation," so he just gives her some money, and then realizes like, oh, he doesn't have any money. He goes and records a song with Justin Timberlake and Adam Driver, which Please Mr. Kennedy is such a fun, dumb song, and I love it. And then he's like, oh, I'll just take the money now. I don't want any royalties from it. And then it turns out that it's going to be a hit, and he could have made so much more money, but instead he only got like $50 because he made the wrong decision. And he just keeps doubling down on all these bad decisions while also trying to find this cat that he was supposed to be taking care of for his neighbors. The music in this movie is fantastic. Fare Thee Well, especially the version that he does with, I want to say it's
Marcus Mumford.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know if it was Marcus or one of the other ones, but the lead singer of Mumford & Sons, they have a duet that's fantastic. Stark Sands has a song called The Last Thing on My Mind, which is absolutely beautiful. It's great that they got a Broadway guy there. I just think this movie is so great, and it's like this very existential form of comedy where you're just kind of watching everything go wrong for this guy, and it's really funny seeing how bad this guy's life can truly get, and then the way it's sort of framed with the beginning and the ending is really, really interesting.
And this was my number 77. Yeah, everything Cam said is true. If you love folk music, this is exactly the movie for you, because it takes place during the Greenwich folk scene, like the peak of folk music. And you're right, it is about this guy who's just going through like the worst week of his life. But you know what actually makes it really interesting is that the guy he's kind of a douchebag. He's not a very likable person, but as you're following him, he's really charming, and you actually but you really shouldn't. Because there's especially one scene with another cat and a car that the moment it happens, I go, what a dick! But it's so extremely well told. The music is fantastic. Oscar Isaac does a great job. He's a hell of a guitar player. and it's one of the Coen brothers' best movies, and it's beautiful to look at. The cinematography is amazing.
God, if it was up to Barr, like getting people to go see movies, well, they still won't be coming to theaters. Okay. So I saw this movie this year. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's great. The reason why it's not one of my favorites is because it has a cat in it, and I hate cats. And that's just, and the cat's a dick, of course, and causes so much problems for the man. But I don't I'm not a big folk person. I'm not a big music fan. Like, I like music, but I'm not obsessed with music like some people. But I've really found to enjoy this movie. I'm not a big Coen Brothers fan at times either. I'm not. I like some, but I don't like Big Lebowski's. I don't like at all. So it's crazy how that kind of works. But no, well done with Inside Llewyn Davis. I think it's great. I think 77 would be the correct choice. 42 is a little high, but you had Footloose, so I'm not going to hold you to a higher standard. Blockbuster, why did it not make your list?
I have seen 15 Coen Brothers movie, and this is not one of them.
Huh. I love the Coen Brothers movies. This is one of the few that I have not rewatched since I watched it. I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a good fucking movie. I just need to rewatch it to see if it actually goes up.
That's right. Okay. Nazario.
42. Paul Verhoeven is the master of political futuristic satire. These people are bringing here with the indies folk existential shit. I'm bringing motherfucking RoboCop.
Yeah.
I am by myself. You heathens.
This isn't a yikes from Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Goddamn right it is, bitch. This is RoboCop.
Did you yikes it, though?
I think
it was from earlier. I'm pretty fucking sure.
Earlier.
Okay, Mike had it on his list. Okay. Because if you didn't, I'm questioning everything.
I'm almost fucking positive I had it on the fucking
Uh-oh. You better check.
I know. I'm double checking. I know. Hang on. Holy shit.
Did you not have Robo?
Fuck. I knew I fucked up on one, and that was the one. God damn it.
Okay. Well, okay, go ahead.
That's a pretty big one, Nick.
Yes.
Okay, this movie, it's insane. First of all, it's an excellent political satire. The way it describes how the future works is actually really scary, close to what it's becoming right now, when a private company decides to fund the police in exchange for getting some land so they can build skyscrapers and sell it to millionaires, but they need to get out the vermin, the bad people first, and they actually hire thugs to go turning the house on fire and creating a chaos. Clarence Boddicker, by Kirk Kowalkowski, is the biggest asshole I have ever seen. The man is a freaking monster. The way they just destroy Alex Murphy is just savage. I saw this shit when I was 7. My dad did not care at all what he showed me. I was scarred forever, and I still love that movie. The thing, when he comes back and he tries to recover his humanity, it's amazing. Little snippets here and there, and don't even mention in the same conversation the piece of trash that it was the reboot where the family was still like, oh yeah, we don't care you have a metal dick, we still love you. No, his family leaves because he's dead. Now he's a robot that belongs to the same company that he figures out that he has to destroy. It's awesome. The visual effects work. The dialogue is excellent, and the way the movie ends, it's brilliant. It's brilliant because we all know where he's going. We all know what he's going to do, and we know what he can't do. And the way they use it with one line of dialogue, they take away the issue, and the next thing that happens is perfect. And this movie is bloody as hell. Bloody as hell. You will never see a movie this bloody made today. I guarantee you. And the death of one of the thugs that gets mutated when they dump the vat of chemicals on him. Perfect effects. Real effects from the 80s. It's an amazing movie.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the wife's the only one that has a problem with the metal dick. I don't think anybody else in the family gives two shits about the dick. But overall, this movie is great. When we talk about 80s and 90s like action, this one does not come up as often as like Terminator and stuff like that. Like RoboCop is amazing, and you're right. They will never ever make a movie that's bloody again. I don't think of that variety. It is insane. Plus, you didn't quote the famous line. I'd buy that for $1. I think the overall thing is insane. The movie is one that I go back to, and I'm really surprised because it checks all the box for one Hanley, but apparently he would not buy this for $1. So everybody, RoboCop.
Mike, you first. I insist.
I had this on my list in the 80s, and when I fucking flipped shit around, I forgot to fucking put it back in there. I'm so pissed. This is officially my 101. I love the hell out of this movie. Give this man a hand. Kurtwood Smith is such a fucking asshole. Like Nazario said, I love Kurtwood Smith in this movie. And he goes, "Can you fly, Bobby?" And chucks his ass out the fucking door. Moving car to smash the goddamn window. It is such an amazing movie. Peter Weller is fucking incredible in this movie. I can watch this any goddamn day of the week. I love everything about this. It's a great fucking movie.
Cam?
I don't know what's going on right now. I haven't seen this movie. I think I need an adult.
Why?
I don't know. Just
it's just very uncomfortable.
Just the way
a lot of emotions.
This,
Nazario did not pitch it well, especially when he said that it's close to the day and then used the terminology he did. I wouldn't say that is correct. I wouldn't say that the thugs and the police, that's a little rough. But overall, I get where you're coming from, but just not just describing that.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if I will.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
We might not get to 40 guys.
Yeah.
We want canceled before.
I'm not sure. I suddenly heard the words metal dick, and I was like, I don't know.
That's
Well, it's true. All right. Well, Barr.
How do
bring
I
us down a show tune track?
So
no,
happy
actually, I know
my
it. I
parents
think
don't watch
because of the
How-
yikes, I think I know
How
what
do
you're
I
pretty
follow? How do I follow all of this up with Schindler's List?
Yeah,
that's a really good point. Good luck.
Yeah. Schindler's List. One of the greatest movies ever made. This is on my list more because of how great of a movie it is versus how often I would put it on. Because you need to be in a mood to watch this. I've only seen it twice. But my God, is it just one of the feats, the great feats of filmmaking? This movie's incredible. I think it's Steve Zalian who wrote the script. Yeah, it's probably one of the greatest scripts ever made. I think that it was the perfect choice to shoot this in black and white because it's just the subject matter is just the absence of joy. Therefore, the absence of color. Liam Neeson is amazing. Ben Kingsley is giving one of the greatest performances of his career, and friggin' hell, Ralph Fiennes, Eamon Goth in this movie is just such an intricate and deep villain. It's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomforting, but it's just beautifully and immaculately told. It's a movie that you have to see. You have to see this movie because not only if you're going into film, you have to see this because of how amazingly made it was, but just it's an important story to tell. And it's done so goddamn well. It's amazing.
Schindler's List is one of the hardest, like Barr said, one of the hardest movies to ever rewatch. I pride myself on fucking loving rewatching all my favorite movies. I have a very hard time rewatching this movie. Every time I do, I love it, but it is such a gut punch. the part where they have the guy on his knees and Ray Fiennes and the two soldiers are going to be killing him, and the guns are not working. It is so fucking depressing and so fucking sad just watching this guy's face knowing he's going to have his fucking head blown off. But then it doesn't happen. They just they beat him over the head and then walk away. It is such a powerful fucking movie. Liam Neeson is amazing in this movie. Fiennes is amazing. Ben Kingsley is fucking incredible in this movie. The scenes towards the end with the train and Schindler coming at the right fucking time could have turned so fucking bad, but doesn't. It is such an amazing fucking movie. I love this movie to death. It's a great fucking movie.
Anybody else have Schindler's? Okay. Schindler's List is the movie that I've seen one time. I've seen it once. And it's I'm going to be real honest with you. If you're saying best overall Spielberg, it's probably Schindler's, because it's such a passion project of his. You don't get a more Spielberg movie than Schindler's because he put everything he had into it. Jaws is by far the one that I think is his best in my eyes. Not anything against any of the other ones, but so my audio just cut. The viewpoint of it that I think is great is just how lasting it stays with you. I've seen it once, and it stayed with me for this long since. So I think that's the impressive staying power of what Schindler's List is all about. Besides the color of the girl's jacket that has been asked 14,000 times as well. The overall movie is just brilliant. Black and white's perfect for it. The overall it deserves a rewatch, but it's so hard to get me to go to a rewatch. It's just not easy. So hats off to you guys for having Schindler's. Two of you guys did not, but this is the one I give sort of a pass because I understand how. If this is best, you're stupid to not include Schindler's, but this is your top 100, so it's hard to say, yeah, let's pop in Schindler's List and eat popcorn. Not a top one. Not a top
Party
one.
down.
Yeah, no. I've seen this movie once. I think this movie is incredible. It's one of those things. I know someone who this is their favorite movie of all time, and I understand, but to me it's just such a weird movie to have as one of your favorites. Because it's so depressing and hard to watch. And it's I don't know how you can love something that makes you so sad. And so it's not on my list because I don't know if I'll ever rewatch this movie. I've seen it once and I think that might be all it needs.
I watched this movie late. I watched it around 2000 when I was 20 years old. And yeah, it's one that stays with you. I don't think I've ever rewatched it actually. I think I only did the one time. But I still have vivid memories of what that movie was and how it made me feel after. I think for the same reason, I don't really rewatch Sophie's Choice after the one time it did. When movies hit you that hard, it's really you need to be in a special emotional place to re-experience it. And I like my Spielberg a little more joyous. I already mentioned. I actually mentioned Saving Private Ryan, which he himself has said that he made Schindler's List for his mom and Saving Private Ryan for his dad, which is a pretty serious movie. But yeah, I think it's a great movie. It's just, I guess it's not for everyone, even though it is kinda. But I just made choices about other Spielberg projects that I actually prefer to put on my list.
And I encourage, if anybody's never seen this, I understand how hard of a watch of it, but you have to see it. You have to. I just think if you're a movie fan at all, it deserves a watch, no matter how hard it is. Mike, what's your 41?
Okay, so it's not a depressing movie, fortunately. But do you guys like excellent movies? Because it's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, okay? That's what it fucking is. We're fucking partying on. Okay. This is a great fucking movie. I love the hell out of this movie. Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter together are fucking amazing. I can watch those two any day. Fucking new ones coming out. I can't fucking wait. You got them going on an adventure of a lifetime. Billy the Kid. So Crates. Lincoln. You got everybody you want. And the Genghis Khan in one of the funniest fucking sequences at the mall ever. It is so fucking hilarious. They are such morons. You get them going. He's telling Ted, Bill goes, Ted, we got to take this serious, okay, man? So George Washington, he goes, had wooden teeth, chase Moby Dick. That's Captain Ahab, dude. Fucking idiots. They're fucking morons. But they are so amazing. It is so hilarious. George Carlin, R.I.P. Man, he is fucking amazing as Rufus. All three of them together are incredible. This is just a fun ride from beginning to end. There's no sad parts. Really, in essence, there's really no villain in this movie. It's just them on an adventure of a lifetime. Time is our villain. That's literally the villain of the story is time. Other than that, it's just an adventure through and through. I love the hell out of this. So many great sequences. San Dimas High School football rules. It's a great fucking movie.
So the funny story behind this is my cousin showed me Dude, Where's My Car? No correlation whatsoever. But I said, my uncle and me, I was like, dude, you want to see a funny movie? Dude, Where's My Car? I'm about 10 years old, 11 years old. Then my uncle goes, hey, dumbass, they made this movie with way better actors. It's called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. If you want to watch morons on screen for the entire time, watch this one. I said, no, it can't top it. Then I watched both of them. And boy, was I wrong about Dude, Where's My Car? Because that movie's not garbage. These movies are amazing.
Thank you.
I think these are brilliant films. I don't have them as high as most people because I came to it obviously not grew up with them as much, but the time I watched them and watching my uncle belly laugh at the stuff and me laugh as well. It's a perfect gap. I think if you haven't seen it, please get it. This is where Wild Stallions gets the name. So it's great. It's a great movie. I think it's well done, Mike. Everybody on Bill and Ted's.
It's on my list.
Oh, you mean the I need to watch it list, not the top 100 list?
Yes,
I got
that one.
For a
that
second.
list.
It's like you didn't yikes it. Okay. You're too busy putting pretentious shit on there. Go ahead.
And one that got, and then there's the one that got yiked earlier. So,
when I made my first draft of my top 100 list, this was in my 90s, and then I watched a bunch. I rewatched a bunch of stuff and watched some things for the first time, and it got edged out by new stuff. But this was really close. I love this movie.
I need to rewatch it.
This is an excellent comedy. Actually, I think it's one of those rare cases where the sequel surpasses the original. I actually think Bob's Journey is the better of the two. Sadly, neither one made my list, but I can easily see it happening around 80s or 90s. These movies are timeless, and you kind of forget how funny and good they are until you rewatch them, and then you're like, why the hell I haven't been watching this all the time? They're actually pretty fucking great, and I'm kind of worried about the third one being so long after the second one. I hope they can capture the magic. The trailer looks funny. Let's see what happens.
Keanu does no wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Cam, take us home. Country Road.
To the place.
Hey, Cody. I think you're going to have some things to say about this movie, because if I'm not mistaken, I think you watched it this morning or this afternoon. My number 41 is Hot Fuzz.
Believe that was a yikes from earlier.
Yeah, it was. I had it earlier.
Yep, it was a yikes from earlier for me as well.
Okay, talk about it.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, I am a shill for the British legend known as Edgar Wright. He's my favorite director. I love his sense of comedy. I love his sense of directing. I love the way he does action. And I think this is a fantastic example of what he does, of how he can do that. I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't want to be a police officer, apart from the summer of 1979 when I wanted to be Kermit the Frog. like it's lines and like it's lines like that just show how great Edgar Wright is at crafting characters who like it's such a simple movie on the surface that has so much going on, where it's simultaneously a parody of all these buddy cop movies, where they very specifically point out Point Break and Bad Boys 2 as being two huge examples of it. And then it also is like the perfect example of these buddy cop movies. One of my favorite fun facts about this movie is that Nick Frost wasn't sure he wanted to do the movie, and then said he would on the condition that he can name his character Danny Butterman, and then Edgar Wright went, "Yeah, sure, go right ahead." So like his character's named Danny Butterman. Simon Pegg gets stabbed in the hand by a guy dressed as Santa Claus, played by Peter Jackson. Like this movie is insane. It's so funny. The action is great, and that swan.
Mike, where was this on your list?
I had it at 89.
All right, I had it at 72. So yeah, this movie is probably it is my favorite of the Cornetto trilogy. Hey, Cameron, fascist.
It's fascism.
Fascism. Well, whatever, man. All right. But still, and this. There's also the Timothy Dalton in this movie is so friggin' perfect. He's so friggin' perfect. Here come the fuzz. So great.
I'm a slasher.
Of prices. The action in this movie is actually done really well. There's the other thing about this movie that's so smart is the editing. It is such a parody of like all of the action movies of that time, like Taken and all that, where the editing is just constant, and it's and the other thing about this movie that I really love is the castle scene, because that's when shit gets fucking real. Like holy hell, that castle scene is amazing. Playtime's over.
I had him the cuddly monkey, and
I absolutely adore this movie. I love this movie so much. It takes my favorite elements of comedy and horror and puts it fucking together. It has Nick Frost doing the reimagining of Point Break scene of Keanu Reeves pointing the gun in the air and fucking shooting it off. The one thing he's always wanted to do. It is so great. The ending of the miniature city, them going fucking bonkers over that is incredible. Supermarket scene is fucking classic. I love this movie so much. Nick Frost and Simon Pegg are some of the best comedy duos of the 2000s and 2010s easy.
Yeah, I just watched it today. I mean, gonna be honest with you, I thought it was really funny. The way that Barr was laughing the entire way. Thought he was actually watching the movie for a second. And classic Barr. I think there should be in the drinking game when we create for this list. Barr tries to quote something and messes up the quote. It's my favorite part of your list, sucks.
She still calls him a fascist during that action.
No, she says fascist, and then he corrects her and says it's fascism. I wasn't correcting the quote. I was continuing the quote.
And you just didn't know where it went. It's fine. But overall, I think the movie's great. One of the lines that I really laughed really hard at was when he was like, you watch too many movies. He doesn't. Just because he's watched Bad Boys. It's like, which one do you want to watch first? You're joking, right? I think the overall movie, I am famous before today. Like, I've only seen Shaun of the Dead, and that was in 2004. I'd never seen any of the other ones. So I saw Hot Fuzz for the first time. World's End will be this week. I think it's brilliant. I don't see any issue with it being in your top 100. I can definitely see it. I laughed throughout the entire thing. I think this is way better than Shaun of the Dead, honestly, and I know it's only a half-star rating between me, but I think overall it's great. I guess it's just the cop thing. It just was really funny to me, and the twist in this movie is really crazy. And that entire end sequence is just like shit. What are you going to do? Arrest the whole town?
Yeah.
Yep. Just goes right in.
Them 2 shotguns on their backs on horseback.
Yeah, just got a shotgun. Yeah. The priest comes out and goes, son.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, so great choice on this one, Hotfuzz. Everybody else on Nazario, what the hell do you hate this movie?
I don't hate it. I actually do agree that is the funniest of the 3. To me, it's Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and At World's End.
The World's End, and boo.
Okay, it's all right. I laughed a lot. I liked it. I like the 80s and 90s action references. This is actually pretty good, and Timothy Dalton is actually pretty funny in the movie. But I don't really have that many comedies in my top 100, so...
You don't like to laugh, it's fair.
I don't like happiness.
You and Kirk don't like joy.
It's no Lego movie, I'll tell you.
Ever since he saw RoboCop at the age of 6, Nazario hasn't been able to feel joy.
Yeah, if it's had a metal dick in it,
He likes the Lego movie because of the existential crisis he had in the middle of it, not the
All right, Nazario, close out the episode. I let him talk longer. We did prove it. All right, what's your next one?
My number 41 is the last appearance of the Tim Burton as a director in my list, and it's his best movie overall, is the biopic 1994's Ed Wood. This movie is obviously a labor of love. The man obviously loves Ed Wood and what he represents and the kind of movies that he made. He was a bad director, but he had so much passion. The man always just found a way to get his way with other people's money and finish the movie for pennies on the dollar. The biggest thing he did in his life was to meet Bela Lugosi when everybody thought Bela Lugosi was dead and tried to bring him back into the movies. Originally, he started the relationship as a beneficial thing, mutual beneficial thing, but actually evolved into a very real friendship. They became such good friends that actually Lugosi appeared in several of Wood's movies, even until the day he died, and even after he died. It's hilarious the way he jumps from producer to producer and to find different ways to get money. He tricks one producer of trash schlock movies into paying for his biographical transvestite story. He tricks, he gets another woman a leading role because he thinks she has money to pay for his movies and she really doesn't. And he tricks a religious leader into actually paying for Plan 9 from outer space. He actually had to get everybody in his team baptized as part of the deal. And there is this scene that actually I do not think it happened in real life. Actually, I'm pretty sure it didn't, where he gets frustrated on set and runs away and goes into a bar and meets Orson Welles, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. And he talks about his passion and how studios wants to meddle with his thing, like he's actually doing real work. And Orson Welles said, like, it happened to me too, man. Citizen Kane, had to fight everybody for it. And this moment is actually you realize that Ed Wood is comparing Plan 9 to Citizen Kane. It's a brilliant film. And yes, Martin Landau totally deserved the supporting Oscar for 1994 Best Actor movie.
Yeah, I shook my head. It's just like when I manage and I fight with a challenge. I haven't seen Ed Wood. It's one that I want to. I just haven't been able to. Because I don't like Tim Burton. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like him as a director. I think he's black at best. He has some good ones, and apparently this one is a good one. But, yeah, it's been on my list. I just have not seen it yet. Everybody on Ed Wood.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
I love this movie. It's so much fucking fun. Ed Wood is a batshit crazy director. His fucking ideas are insane, and I love how this is a perfect movie for Tim Burton to do through and through. Tim Burton isms throughout. It's so great. I love it.
Okay, that's the show. We went longer. It's fair. It's understandable. We're going to get even longer, probably. God help my soul. I will have to use the shut up rule on Barr at some point. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. Koho, am I right? Is it Barr? Yeah, it's Barr. Yeah, he's giving me the thumbs up. Everybody knows. We're going to start timing people. But no, that was a fun episode. I really got a really good taste. We started really good. We got a little weak. We ended strong. So it's good choices. Barr's list this week was... he ended with Schindler's List. He had Raiders. We haven't talked about him. But in Bruce, he has a lot of movies that I've seen or want to see. Last Picture Show, probably not. Why do you hate Spielberg? Ended up a lot in the 40s. That's a little rough.
There's still
shush. No one's talking to you. Mike is next. Mike had the best sell of all time. He had Pulp Fiction. He had Back to the Future 3. But then he had Falling Down, which the soonest I can watch Falling Down is going to happen. That movie sounds absolutely incredible. Nazario almost ruined it with a phrase. Apparently we couldn't say the whole line. Next, we got Cam. Surprised you put Hot Fuzz as the picture. I would have definitely put 47, just because that needs to live wherever it sits. Everything else, fine. Hot Fuzz saw it today. Really great movie. Wouldn't make my top because I already saw it. But he also had Robin Hood Men in Tights and Mean Girls, which, perfect. And then Nazario had Ed Wood, but had Park, which we knew that was never going to be talked about. Had Lilo, couldn't talk about it. Ratatouille was a really good choice. Blade Runner, RoboCop, really good choice. Can't believe no one else had RoboCop. What the hell? It is free on YouTube, Vudu with ads. I am watching it tomorrow. I am so pumped for watching Falling Down now. Watch it be terrible. Watch I hate every minute of it. But you know what? I'm going to pretend Mike won the Oscar pool and I get to watch it. Movies that have been yikes. Have you updated that list? I think so. Barr has now jumped, I think, to the lead. Good Lord. What is that? 10 total yikes yet to come. Mike is at a total of 8. Cam, not many. No one has your taste. 5. And Nazario on his own page has got a total of 8 as well. So, yeah, a lot of movies coming, a lot of things. We're entering our top half. Next is the top 40. We're going to be hitting the strong. Guys, again, I want to thank you. This is a really fun series. I get to realize I'm learning a lot about your film choices, realizing if we all live closer, I would probably never attend any of your guys' movie nights. I promise you that. But probably Mike's, because I'd be fucking hammered, but it'd be a great time. All right, so check us next week. We will go 40 to 30. We'll go 40 to 31. So really excited for that. So yeah, see ya.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
Get what you fucking deserve!
Return to your lady friend. Duncan, please return to your lady friend.
No. Hasta la vista, baby.